This is a small video for beginning students with the TI-89 calculator. I'd like to cover these 11 basic features. First, how to turn the calculator on and off. Well, the on button turns it on. How to turn it off? Yellow. On turns it off. Okay. Turn it back on. Let's clear the variables A through Z. F6 menu will do that. So yellow, F6, clear A through Z, enter, yes. That's done. Let's clear the screen. Again, yellow, F6, new problem, enter, enter, done. Now, let's practice with a trivial calculation, like what is 2 divided by 3? That's not very helpful. The answer is showing 2 divided by 3 exactly what we typed in because we're in the exact mode. We need to change to the approximate mode. So we click on mode, and near the bottom of that bunch of menus is exact approximate. I'll select approximate, enter, enter, and now then we're in the approximate mode so that when we divide 3 into 2, we get 0.667. This mode is appropriate for almost everything we do in the entire course. There are a few exceptions toward the end of the course with differential equations. Okay. When we go someplace that we want to return from, we can use the escape key. Hit the escape key and we just return from that. Officially, the difference between the escape key and the home key, I'm reading from a web page, pressing the escape backs out of a menu command or screen if you make a mistake and want to start over. Pressing home will always return you to the home screen. For example, if we're making a graph and we're in the window setup menu and we press the home key, it will return us out of that menu. Okay, now if we've typed some things and we want to back up one character at a time, this back arrow key deletes one character at a time. That's very useful. Well, this is also useful. If we want to change that 3 to a 4, we can move to this position, then hit the back arrow key and enter 4 without having to retype the whole thing all over again. Okay, now clear a couple of times. We'll clear the command line. Let's play with this triangle. This is a familiar triangle commonly used in mechanical engineering, where the x-axis has a side of 3, the y-axis has a side of 4, the hypotenuse is 5, and this angle is 53.13 degrees. Now, since 180 degrees is equal to pi radians, we can convert 53.13 degrees to radians by, let's do that for practice. We'll enter 53.13 multiplied by pi, divide 180. Just as a sample calculation to show us that 0.9273 radians is equal to 53.13 degrees. Okay, so let's take the arc sine of 4 divided by 5. So green arc sine, 4 divide 5, enter, should return us that angle. And it did, but it returned it in radians because we're in the radian mode. We'll be switching between radian mode and degree mode very frequently. So here's how to do that. Press mode, go to angle menu, enter that menu and select degree, enter again, and now then we're in the degree mode, so that when we press enter, let's do it a different way. Rather than just pressing enter and getting the answer, let's clear the screen and decide I want to perform inverse sine of 4 over 5, but I don't want to type it in. I'm looking at it right there, so go get it. Hit the up arrow a couple of times and just hit enter, and it will pop down to the command line, and I can enter it, and it's showing me now the angle in degrees, 53.13. Okay, next, let's play with a complex number. Let's enter parentheses 3 plus 4i, that's a complex number, in rectangular form, and if I hit enter, what I get is the polar version of that, 5 angle 53.13, because I'm in a particular mode. The mode that the calculator is currently in is polar degrees. And that's why, let's go home, yep, and that's why the result showed a polar version of the complex number 3 plus 4i. If I change to radian mode, degrees, radians, and now hit enter again, I get e to the 0.9273i multiplied by 5. That is the official, rigorous mathematical way of expressing a complex number in polar form. If we're in radians, which we are, we'll see the angle showing up in this format. If we're in degrees, we'll see the angle showing up in that format. Lastly, let's store something into memory. Whatever is there on the command line, if I click on store and select a variable, let's select A, store A, enter, that particular entry has been stored into memory. So if I clear and now recall that the contents, it will show me what's just been stored in A, so that later if I want to multiply A by 10, I can. By A multiplied by 10 is change the amplitude, change the magnitude, multiplied it by 10 and did not affect the angle. Okay, I think that's enough for a basic introduction to the TI-89 calculator.